Welcome to your midweek update. I'm your host, Paul from KCTK Radio. This is the program, yes, the program, where we give you a quick update about what people are talking about this week. We examine the latest trending Google searches for today so you know what everyone is concerned about. Now, as I've told you before, I'm not claiming these are the most important things or even that you should know them. I'm just helping you by letting you know what is going on in the world. So, in the words of Casey Kasem, let's do that, yeah. In the words of Casey Kasem, on with the countdown.
Number 5.
Number 5 is actor Sean Penn. Yeah, he's totally gnarly. I don't remember his catchphrase from the movies, but he's an actor, and he's won the Academy Award for Milk, I think. He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's where I first saw him, and he made me laugh. Well, now he did an interview with Stephen Colbert. Yes, Stephen Colbert of CBS Television, and he was smoking on there. And as you can imagine, everyone is completely outraged that he would actually be smoking on TV. Instead of showing real things, everything on television has to be completely fake. He probably smokes in real life. He's sitting there talking to someone. He should smoke. In my opinion, if you're sitting there and you're smoking, you look stupid anyway. So why not let Sean Penn just sit there and be stupid and smoke? But the internet is searching a lot and finding out why is he smoking on the Stephen Colbert show. And everyone has, as they always do on the internet, a shit fit.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the brand new iPad. This is pretty exciting because they have rolled out a brand new iPad, and Apple rolled this out as a cheaper iPad, kind of focused more towards the education market. So hopefully kids and other people who are learning about all the great information that they need to know from an iPad, they can get this from the new iPad. It looks like it's going to be about $329, 9.7 inches. And, again, when people find out there is new things when it comes to Apple, people get very excited. This really isn't anything that new. It's familiar. It just happens to be 9.7 inches screen size, and just a couple other ways to make it look a little more visible. And now people are pretty excited about the new iPad, and that was number 4. Yay! But let's take a break here, because I want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Global Transactional Financial Institution Savings and Loan Services. Still hiding money under the mattress? Contrary to popular belief, investing your financial assets is a government savings bond can help you grow your money. Our team of professionals at Global Intertranscontinental Financial Institution Savings and Loan Services will raise and nurture your investments as if they were their own. We're very protective of our young. Trust our experts to take care of your hard-earned money and make it work for you. Find out more. Simply navigate to our website at www.globalintertransactionalfinancialinstitutionsavingsandloanservices.com. Global Intertransactional Financial Institutional Savings and Loan Services. Building globally, one transaction at a time. And use promo code your midweek update at checkout. That was a better idea on paper than it was in reality.
Number 3.
Number 3 is John Paul Stevens. John Paul Stevens was a big man. He was a big, hairy man. Do you remember the ballad of John Paul Stevens where he challenged the locomotive to a dig off, and then he used an axe and a pick to beat the locomotive, but then he died? Well, I don't either, because that was John Henry. We're talking about John Paul Stevens, who is the retired Supreme Court Justice. He calls for the repeal of the Second Amendment. Now, whenever we talk about guns, the Second Amendment comes up. People believe it's in the Constitution that you get to have any type of weapon that you want because of the Second Amendment. I don't think they're looking at it correctly. And anytime you see someone talk about this, they'll say, well, I support the Second Amendment. Well, yeah, you should support the Constitution, idiot. But what John Paul Stevens, who was a hairy man, he was a scary... That's the wrong guy. But John Paul Stevens just thinks we ought to just repeal it and be on with it, because he thinks that if there's... Let's say there is a law that outlaws the assault weapons. Sounds like a good idea to me. I mean, I say outlaw anything that kills 17 kids in their school. I'm old-fashioned that way. But he's saying if you just have a law that does that, then you have to have another law that does something else. And then when that weapon is bad, then you have to have a law that outlaws that. You should just get rid of the Second Amendment and allow the government just to regulate all of them. I think it's interesting that people are Googling this. I'm sure all the gun people are, you're trying to take my gun! No! And they're freaking out. But the idea of repealing something in the Constitution is it takes so long to do. They can't even pass a simple law that says that you have to be over 21 to get an assault rifle. So there's no possible way that this is going to happen. And so, John Paul Stevens, you were retired Supreme Court Justice. Please just stay retired.
Number 2.
And this is we're talking about violence and gun violence. The next one is Alton Sterling. Alton Sterling was the young man that was killed by the Baton Rouge police officers a few months ago, and the Baton Rouge police did an investigation on themselves, and they found that they did nothing wrong. And so there will be no charges in the death of Alton Sterling. I don't know all the details of this. I think the details are important in most of this stuff, but this happens where a young black man gets killed, police do investigation, and police are fine. So, again, I could make this midweek update repetitive by just saying that every time it happens. So it's a sad situation, and it's too bad that we can't make progress on that. But what we can make progress is...
And number 1.
All right, number one, Google trending search today is Roseanne, and that is Roseanne Barr, or Roseanne Arnold, or just simply Roseanne, the comic otherwise known as Roseanne. They're having the brand new television show reboot. Is it a reboot, or is it just, did they take a long vacation? But anyway, Roseanne, the TV show, returns 30 years after it debuted, and it was on for about 7 years, and now it's back. It has the same cast. It'll be interesting to see what Roseanne, Dan, Darlene, the DJ, and the other kid, what they did in the last 20 years. I think it'll probably be pretty funny. Roseanne Barr is a pretty outspoken person, and just I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get a lot of disagreements from you, but I think she's a genius comedically. She really tapped into things that were really funny about lower middle class people, and I think it's going to be a good show. I'm going to watch it, and I hope you enjoy it yourself, because now the show's over. So now you can leave, and you can go watch Roseanne. You can eat pizza. You can do whatever you want, because that's your midweek update. This is Paul saying until we meet again, be safe. Pizza here?
This has been a KCTK production, produced by Paul Lavoda. If you want more information about this content, then you have some real weirdness going on. You can always check out KCTK Radio on Facebook. Listen to live programs at kctk.radio12345.com. Yes, and that is on the World Wide Web. Thank you.